Scorpio, hey, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channel messages that come through. So let's get into it. Happy day, Scorpio. Happy new week. I apologize. These have been trickling out kind of slowly. We are in Aries season. It's been really busy on my end, so I apologize in advance. But, you know, that's kind of the nature of Aries season. It starts picking up. Fire energy really kind of just puts that proverbial fire underneath our butts in order to get stuff done. And it's a conundrum right now because some stuff is happening, but it's more happening with things that we have to contend with, things that either have been in our life for a while or lessons that we're trying to work through, that we're trying to learn, etc. And it's not 100% easy. There has been this cluster of planets in Pisces that has really heightened the water element in the astrology. Heightening the water element meaning that it's triggering a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings, and we're just trying to figure out how to navigate everything. It's combating that fire element, which heightens aggression and frustration, aggravation, tension, etc. So if people are not being, and we just had a full moon, right? So if people are not being grounded, balanced within themselves, it can create a lot of messy dynamics, or just like a lot of conflicting emotions within self, conflicting emotions that we have to really commit to navigating through, giving some awareness to, some mindfulness to. Not always easy, right? That's why I like to start off these readings with an energy cleansing, just kind of set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out some of that block limitation we might be coming into. It's also a great time to set your own intention as well, Scorpio, especially if you've come into this reading with something on your heart, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. It's a great way to personalize these collective readings, and it works. Or if you're interested in some of my services, I do offer private readings. Definitely hit me up if you would like me to look at your current situation, where things are at, where they're headed, etc. Or if you are just looking for more of a realignment of self, your mind, your body, your soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we're feeling established in self, when we're grounded in who we are and what we want, especially in life, it really helps us make better choices for ourselves that lead us to happiness and fulfillment, right? We all deserve to be happy and fulfilled in this life, whatever that looks like. And we do that, we make those decisions when we know who we are, right? So definitely hit me up if you're interested in my services. I would totally be honored to help, support, love in whatever way possible. All the info to get into contact with me, Scorpio, is in the description box below. All right, with that, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels. Oops, sorry. Mama love. Mama love. All right, I'm going to blow this way. All right, Scorpio, let's get into it. So, you know, there's the astrology has been really interesting. It's been super active. There's a lot going on, and it doesn't necessarily mean I feel like this is a reworking of what our life looks like, what we're kind of contending with. Relationships specifically have been put into central focus lately, i.e. Venus and Mercury in retrograde, as well as the full moon in Libra. The sun is in Aries right now, which is all about investing in self. How do we invest in ourselves
ourselves, and then how are we showing back up in these relationships, in these dynamics? And because there is a lot of reshuffling happening in the collective, 100%, it is forcing the imperfections to be brought to the surface. That's not the easiest energy to contend with, because there's like these knee-jerk reactions to just want to like shove things underneath the rug, to not deal, to kind of turn a blind eye to, or to just like move on and find something else, find something different to deal with. But here's the thing. I think this is just kind of like how life is. We have our ideas, we have our fantasies about how we want things to look, how we want them to play out, like our proverbial movie screen. But then this is like the reality of it. There are always going to be pros and cons. There's always going to be good and bad. There's always going to be things that are kind of like conflicting, and I feel like sometimes life is a lot about finding that balance and harmony in the midst of duality, which is really difficult to do. It's really difficult to do because it does look like you're working hard to bring something into being, and I do feel like part of you is conflicted within self. I feel like you've been kind of pushing forward in this very specific way, or wanting this very specific thing, and as there are some gaps that are being filled in as you kind of make it to the threshold or are on the precipice of the new, you're seeing where there are some holes in the plan, right? Whether this is just like moving into a new space of life, like completely doing something new, or readjusting something that like you've been working on very intentionally. And that's how it comes through. I don't know. There's something about this that you're feeling a little bit conflicted about, because you kind of know once you pull the trigger around something, there is going to be a certain reaction. There is going to be a certain chain of events. And there's some hesitancy within self is what I'm seeing. Hesitancy around your plan, or how you kind of like fantasize, envision things to work out, and what it actually is, or what you're actually seeing. This temperance has been popping up a lot for us lately, and I feel like that's highly connected to the moon. It's all about finding balance between the spiritual and the practical, exactly how we started off this reading, right? Like, there are things that we can kind of foreshadow, but there's always stuff that comes in that challenges us. Maybe it is about growth, maybe it's about evolution, whatever it is, right? Karmic contracts, however you want to see it. But there's always going to be pros and cons. And I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer by any means, Scorpio. It just looks like you have a lot of decisions to make. You're weighing the pros and the cons out on a choice, out on a decision. And it looks like there's some stuff that's coming to light this week. Someone wants to talk. Someone wants to have a very serious conversation. Someone wants to shed light on some things. I feel like this is kind of bringing in some clarity, but clarity that you're not feeling very sold on. A lot of decision making is what I'm seeing, especially with the Two of Swords in your energy. You have Two of Swords, they have Two of Pentacles, and you really just want to wait things out. And I feel like so much of this is about how things have played out in the past, and even kind of how they're showing up present day. I don't necessarily see fighting, but I do see some defensiveness, maybe from both ends, because difference of perception. Maybe you haven't had all the answers, etc. There's a lot of maybes, right? There's a lot of hypotheticals. There's a lot of reasons why. And whatever it is, you've seen this coming a mile away. And I feel like when you saw it coming, you made some certain decisions in your mind. This is what I'm going to do when X, A, B, and C happen. And now it's like, well, I didn't have that information before, or. But I don't know. There's also a lot of hesitancy. And I don't know if someone's going to like how you respond. Yeah, because I feel like you are doing some self-protection. I feel like you want to give yourself a little bit of space, 100%, to see how things continue to evolve. Like, and not really like, I'm not going to say you're testing someone, but like you're just kind of, you're making boundaries for yourself. I don't necessarily see this as manipulation, but I do see like you being very inflexible. And that's where I feel like it's going to rub someone the wrong way. They're not going to like it. and thinking that this conversation or this revelation to you is going to give them a hall pass. I don't necessarily see that you're ready to do that. Yeah. But they take it personally, 100%. This person is taking it personally and might even have some like rash reactions as a result. And it just makes it harder. Like, it almost confirms why you're setting these boundaries is what I'm seeing, Scorpio. It's almost just confirming exactly. I think it hurts. I think it's a disappointment. I think it's a bummer, right? This water element, i.e. temperance energy, it's not easy to push through, but this is also a pattern, right? This is also something that unfortunately has a lot of water underneath its bridge. And so like, you have to do certain things for yourself. And I don't think this is a matter of like right, wrong, good, bad. I feel like you just kind of, like I said, like you say something and they can't really, I don't know. They just kind of compartmentalize it in this way. Like, you're leaving them out, like you're doing something, like it's kind of something you're intentionally doing against them. And I don't necessarily see it as that, but it also kind of just looks like they feel like they have to, well, things have changed. It's a different mantra, right? Like, as I've been talking about, as it shows, like there's a certain patterning that's playing out in this dynamic. And it looks like you're proactively trying to put an end to this with the 5 of Swords. You're committed to it and you feel good about it. And I think in some ways these boundaries are appropriate because it is kind of bringing some of this imperfection to light. As much as we can want the highest and best outcome, sometimes things just are what they are. And even though I feel like someone's not going to like it, I think they're going to have a hard time with it. And I feel like a lot of what they're saying, a lot of the things that they're trying to bring revelations, clarity around, they're not following through, right? It's kind of like, oh, well, you need time. Well, why would you need time for yourself? I just told you what you needed to know. They don't like it. They're just taking it the wrong way, you know? And it's actually hard for them to watch you empower yourself through the process. You could be dealing with a Leo. You could be just dealing with someone who's used to having all the attention or like you chasing after them, etc. But you're looking different. You're showing up different after a time of really focusing on yourself, really healing yourself, and it's bringing the changes that you want. Yes, there's a lot of difficulty around what that looks like, Scorpio, 100%. I get that. That's the unfun side. But again, we have to be committed right now to what our intuition has been showing us and telling us. Not the fear-mongering, not the anxiety that's trying to kind of like force its agenda, right? But actually what our gut instincts are telling us and then following through with that feeling. So I hope this helps. Sorry, it was a little bit heavy. It's kind of just the nature of the beast right now. Like I said, there's a lot going on in the astrology, a lot that we have to kind of contend with, but you got this. I think you're maybe a little hesitant, but you're getting more answers as you take the right steps for you, Scorpio. Thank you so much for your time, energy, always. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope you found messages that resonated for you. Definitely drop comments below if you did. I love to hear, or just say, hey, share in a little love, a little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support that you bring to the channel. No, I'm sending it back your way.